Close your eyes for a second and picture the phrase cat lady. What do you see? A lonely woman, perhaps in a bathrobe, covered in hair in a house that smells musty, isolated from the world? This is the caricature that society has been selling us for decades, the punchline of 1,000 jokes, the threat mothers hold over their daughters: get married or you'll end up a crazy old cat lady. But why? Why is a man with 3 dogs a pack leader, while a woman with 3 cats is a spinster? Why is a man who lives alone a coveted bachelor, while a woman who lives alone is a social failure? The answer is not about the cats. It's about how we view the woman who chooses them. A cat is an animal that cannot be controlled. It does not obey orders. It offers affection only when it desires. And a woman who cherishes such a creature is perceived as dangerous to a society that expects women to be docile. Today, we are going to burn this stereotype to the ground. We are going to explore the true psychology of the cat lady. And no, we are not talking about hoarding or mental illness. We are talking about the woman who values autonomy over obedience, the woman who finds peace in silence, the one who has been called aloof or difficult simply because she sets boundaries. We are going to discover why the bond between women and cats is one of the oldest, most spiritual, and most misunderstood connections in human history. Welcome to the psychology of the cat lady, or as I prefer to call her, the guardian of the independent soul. To understand the cat lady, you must first understand the cat. A dog looks at you and says, "You are the center of my universe. I will do whatever you say." A cat looks at you and says, "I am the center of the universe. What do you bring to the table?" This is the mirror effect. Psychologically, we choose the animal that reflects our worldview or the way the world treats us. Historically, women have been expected to be like dogs, happy to serve, eager to please, always smiling, waiting patiently by the door. But the woman who identifies with the cat rejects this role. She sees a self-sufficient, graceful, and fiercely independent creature, and she thinks, "That is me." She sees a creature often judged simply because it isn't constantly seeking validation from others, and this resonates deep within her soul. When a cat lady looks at her feline, she doesn't see a pet, she sees a peer, a small, furry feminist who refuses to compromise its comfort for anyone's ego. This quest for a relationship of equals leads us to the most profound lesson a cat can offer, that of consent. You cannot force a cat to love you. If you grab a dog suddenly, it will likely tolerate it. If you grab a cat, you will bleed. To love a cat, you must learn the subtle language of its body signals. You have to wait for it to come to you. You have to respect the word no. For many women, this is an incredibly healing experience. We live in a world that often feels entitled to women's bodies, their time, and their emotional energy. But in the sanctuary of her home, the cat lady creates a different world, a relationship based entirely on mutual respect. When her cat jumps onto her lap and starts to purr, it is a sacred moment. Why? Because the cat chose to be there. It wasn't ordered, it wasn't bribed, it was a voluntary act of love. For the woman whose boundaries have been crossed by men, by her family, or by society, the cat is the ultimate teacher. It teaches her that true love does not demand submission, but permission. This is why the bond is so deep. It may be the only relationship in her life where she knows with absolute certainty that the affection is genuine, because a cat cannot lie. To grasp the power of this bond, we must go back in time. The crazy cat lady trope didn't start with cartoons. It took root during the witch trials. For millennia, the cat was seen as a divine protector. In Egypt, they were gods. In Norse mythology, they pulled the chariot of Freya, goddess of love and war. But in the Middle Ages, the narrative shifted. The church and the patriarchy began to fear the wise woman, the woman who lived at the edge of the woods, the woman who had no husband to control her, the woman who understood herbs and healing, and who was always by her side? The cat. They were burned together. The the woman and her familiar. This created a deep ancestral trauma, a witch wound that links the independent woman to the feline. Psychologically, modern cat ladies are reconnecting with this ancient archetype. When you are a woman living alone with your cats, you are reclaiming the title of witch in the best possible way. You are the keeper of the hearth. You are embracing the very thing society taught you to fear: your own power, your own intuition, your own solitude. So when people mock the cat lady, they are subconsciously echoing a centuries-old fear, the fear of the woman who doesn't need the system. They are afraid of her because she is complete all by herself. This ancestral, almost mystical heritage is now validated by the rigor of science. If we look at modern psychology and its gold standard model, the Big Five, we discover fascinating results. Researchers have spent years analyzing the differences between dog people and cat people, and the findings are consistent. If you are a cat lady, you statistically score higher on the personality trait called openness to experience. What does this mean? That you are likely more artistic, more imaginative, and less conventional than the average person. You are a nonconformist. While people who prefer dogs tend to score high in conformity and rule following, cat lovers excel in intellect and abstract thought. You don't just accept the world as it is, you question it. You appreciate nuance. The data also shows that cat ladies are often introverted, but not in a negative way. It simply means you draw your energy from within rather than from a crowd. The next time someone calls you a cat lady, remember what science actually says. They are essentially calling you a creative, intellectual rebel who thinks outside the box. Science confirms that you are not just a pet owner, you are a visionary. Could this openness be just the tip of the iceberg? A famous study led by Denise Guistello at Carroll University analyzed the cognitive abilities of 600 participants. The results showed that people who identified as cat lovers scored significantly higher on intelligence tests than dog lovers. The theory behind this relates to lifestyle and personality. Understanding a cat requires a higher level of emotional intelligence and cognitive processing. To live with a cat, you have to be observant. You have to be able to read micro-expressions. You have to be comfortable with ambiguity. The study suggests that smarter, more sensitive people are drawn to cats because they mirror their own complexity. You aren't drawn to easy love. You're drawn to a relationship that requires a brain. So if you are the type of woman who prefers a quiet night reading with a cat to a loud party, science suggests it's not because you are antisocial, it's because you are statistically likely to be the smartest person in the room. Yet, despite this evidence of sharp intelligence, the most persistent lie remains, that of loneliness and mental instability. For years, it has been claimed that women get cats because they are sad. A massive study cited by researchers at UCLA examined the data of over 500 pet owners. They measured levels of depression, anxiety, and relationship satisfaction. Do you know what they found? Zero. Absolutely no statistical link between owning cats and depression or loneliness. In fact, the data showed that cat owners are just as socially active and happy as dog owners. They are simply more selective about who they spend their time with. Furthermore, a study from the University of Minnesota Stroke Institute found that owning a cat reduces your risk of death from a heart attack by 37%. Let that sink in. The sad cat lady is a lie. The reality is the healthy, calm, and alive cat lady. Your cat is not the symptom of your unhappiness. Your cat is the guardian of your health. Biology, moreover, explains exactly why. Why is it so addictive to have a cat sleeping on your chest? It's not just cute, it's a remedy. Science has discovered that a cat's purr vibrates at a specific frequency, between 20 and 140 hertz. This is not a random number. This frequency is known as the healing frequency. It is the exact range used in vibration therapy to promote bone density, heal tendons, and lower blood pressure. When a cat lady is stressed,
crying or anxious, the cat will come and sit directly on the point of pain. It becomes a living biofeedback machine, a nervous system regulator. For women who are statistically more prone to anxiety and autoimmune issues, often due to high stress, the cat is literally a mobile medical device. It absorbs the stress from the room. This is why the bond feels so physical. It's co-regulation. The woman calms the cat, and the cat heals the woman. A symbiotic loop. The cat lady isn't crazy, she is self-medicating with the most natural anti-anxiety drug on the planet, the purr. This brings us to deconstruct the ultimate cliché. She has cats because she can't find a man. She's filling a void.
This is a fundamental misunderstanding of the difference between being alone and being lonely. Psychologically, cat ladies tend to be highly intelligent introverts. They are often highly sensitive people. They feel the noise of the world too intensely. When they get home, they don't want a dog jumping on them. They don't want to have to go to the dog park and talk to strangers. They want silence, peace. The cat is the quiet companion. It allows you to be alone without being lonely. You can read a book while the cat sleeps on the bookshelf. You are together, but in your own worlds. This is called parallel play, the highest form of intimacy for an introvert. The cat lady isn't hiding from the world because she is sad. She is curating her environment because she values her tranquility. She has realized that the peace of a purring cat is worth more than the chaos of a bad relationship. So, if you are a woman who prefers Friday nights with your feline to Friday nights at a bar, if you talk to your cat like a philosopher, if you have ever been called a cat lady as an insult, wear that title like a crown. You are the modern heir to an ancient lineage of women who knew that the most powerful thing you can do is earn the trust of a beast that doesn't need you. You have understood the secret. A house without a cat is just a house, but a house with a cat is a temple. You are the guardian of the purr, the keeper of the quiet, and you are in excellent company. From Cleopatra to the witches of old to the millions of strong women today who know that the truest love is the one that is given freely. So go ahead, buy that cat tree. Let them sleep on the fresh laundry, because they aren't just pets. They're the miniature lions that guard the gates of your soul. If you are watching this video with a cat sleeping on your keyboard right now, hit that like button, without waking them up, of course. If you have ever felt judged for how much you love your cats, share this video. Let's change the narrative. Subscribe if you want to better understand the invisible strings that connect us to the animals we love. And remember, the cat is the mirror of your soul. Be proud of the reflection.